Hello friends, this is Haradhan from Haradhan Automation Library. So from today onward, I will try to create session for Jenkins, which is a DevOps tool. So as of now, I already posted several videos for Selenium WebDriver, Java, Maven, TestNG and different automation framework in my YouTube channel. Hope you have visited few videos so far and you enjoyed a lot. In case you are new to my YouTube channel, please do not forget to subscribe my channel. In case you are going through a particular videos and you are having any doubt or queries, please do not forget to provide your valuable comment so that I will try to have a look and I will try to provide my input based on your comment. So today from Jenkins I will try to cover the below topics. First one is what is Jenkins all about, what is the advantage and disadvantage is having whenever we want to use Jenkins, how Jenkins work in the real time and what is the internal architecture of Jenkins. Whenever we are talking about Jenkins, right, because Jenkins is a DevOps tools and it is already integrated with or associated with CI/CD, which is nothing but continuous integration and continuous development. So what is CI all about and what is the advantage or disadvantage is having for the continuous integration, how we can install the Jenkins, and after installation how we can open the Jenkins and how we can create first admin user so that we can start our work with Jenkins. So what is Jenkins all about? Jenkins is a powerful, most popular DevOps open source application written only in Java programming language that allows continuous integration and continuous delivery of project, which is nothing but CI/CD, continuous integration and continuous delivery, regardless of the platform user is working on. As it is written in Java and Java is a platform independent, right? So whatever we are doing in Jenkins, it can be used in Mac or Linux or Windows as well. User can integrate Jenkins with a number of testing and deployment technologies. Jenkins supports the complete development lifecycle of software from building, testing, documenting the software, deploying and any other stages of the software development lifecycle. It is a server-based application and requires web server like Apache Tomcat. So why Jenkins is playing a pivotal role as part of DevOps? So before Jenkins was there, right, what we used to do? Suppose say 10 developers and 5 testers are working in a project. I am giving a simple example. And daily basis every developer is doing their code, creating their code, developing something, right? And maybe every day they are merging their work and maybe once in a week or once in a month they are trying to deliver their product to the tester. And when it's coming to the testing's end, right, the testing team trying to do some sanity test. In case sanity test pass, they will go for the functional testing or integration testing. But in case sanity test is failed, there is no point to proceed further testing, right? So they are logging some critical defect and they are not acknowledging the build. So they are reverting the build and they are asking developer to update from their end and to go for the new build. So it is taking hell lot of time, right? It is destroying the time from the development side. And obviously as part of your project timeline, it will be affected. Also it will lose some effort, so it will also impact your monetary value as well. It will, project cost will get increased, and also there is a high chances that quality of the code will not be up to the mark. So that is the reason with the help of Jenkins we can, right, do the software, we can try to complete the development life cycle of software from building the software, testing, documenting, deploying, and on any other stage of the software development life cycle. The reason Jenkins software became so popular is that of its monitoring of repeated tasks which arise during the development of a project. Suppose example, a team is developing a project, Jenkins will continuously test that project build and show team the error in early stage of the development. In case any error is there, it will notify the developer to fix their code, right? In case it is no major issue is there, it will go for the testing team so that they can test. And in case of any defect is there, they can raise it early instead of in the later stage. Before Jenkins, when all developers had completed their assigned coding tasks, they used to commit their code all at same time. Later, build is tested and deployed. After Jenkins, the code is built and tested as soon as developer commits codes. Jenkins will build and test code many times during the day. So right now there is no dependency that only in the end of the day or end of the week or end of the month every developer need to commit their code. So they can commit their code number of times in a day as well. So as and when they will committing the code, so it will immediately deploy and it will trigger a build. And in case it is right working successfully, it will go for the staging area or in the other area. In case it is not working, it will notify the developer to fix their code. By default, Jenkins comes with a limited set of features. In case user want to integrate their Jenkins installation with version control tools like Git, right, they need to install plugin related to Git. In case they want to install Maven, they need to do the right installation of the Maven plugin as well. Okay, you can see. One Java developer who was working for Sun Microsoft was tired of building the code and fixing error repeatedly. In 2004, he created an automation server called Hudson that automates build and test tasks. So this is all about the Jenkins, right? When Jenkins was started and how it was developed, like that is the story. In 2011, Oracle, who owns Sun Microsystem, had a dispute with Hudson open source community. So they forked Hudson and they renamed it with Jenkins in 2011. So from Hudson, they have renamed to Jenkins, Sun Microsoft. So both Hudson and Jenkins continued to operate independently from that time. But after 2011, in a short span of time, Jenkins acquired a lot of contributors and projects, while Hudson remains only with 32 projects. So then with the time, Jenkins became more popular in the market, whereas Hudson is not maintained anywhere because of there is no new takers in the market for Hudson, and Jenkins became so popular. So what are the advantages available for Jenkins and why we are using Jenkins as part of DevOps tool? So first important is that it is a open source and free tool, so there is no license cost associated. It does not require additional installation or component. It is easy to install and easily configurable. So only the Java need to be there. You can install Tomcat and like around 256 MB of hard disk, right, is required. And I think 3 or 4 is the main criteria for installing Jenkins. There is no major criteria is available, so that you can't install in your Jenkins in your system. It supports 1000 or more plugin to easy your work. If a plugin does not exist, user can write the script for it and share with community. As there are a huge number of plugins available, so it is very easy to configure with other external systems. It is built in Java and hence it is portable. It is platform independent and hence available for all platform and different operating system, like it can be Windows, it can be Mac, it can be Linux as well. Easy support available from community because around close to 3 lakhs user is using, right? So easy support can be available from the community and is open source and widely used in the market. Jenkins also support cloud based architecture so that user can deploy Jenkins in cloud-based platform. This is the one of the important aspect. That is the reason Jenkins is very much demanding in the market, because it support cloud-based architecture. The reason why Jenkins became so popular is that it was created by the developer for the primarily for the usage of the developer, but sometimes tester also used it. What are the drawbacks or disadvantages available for Jenkins? Jenkins interface is outdated and not user-friendly compared to current user interface trends. Though Jenkins is loved by many developers, it's not that easy to maintain it because Jenkins runs on a server and that requires some skill as server administrator to monitor its activity. Continuous integration, though it is supported right by Jenkins, but it's regularly break due to some small setting changes. So continuous integration will be paused and therefore requires some developers team attention. Some changes every time, some changes is right, small changes is getting happen, and you need to also update your Jenkins installation or Jenkins configuration based on the changes. So that are the few disadvantages available for Jenkins as well. So how Jenkins work as part of continuous integration? So here in the left side you can see, right, there is a Git repository and multiple developers are working to commit their codes, right, to the source code which is available in the Git repository, right. They are interacting every minute, every second or every hours. Once it is available, everybody is committing their code to the Git repository. There is a Jenkins server available which checks the shared repository at periodic intervals, and every check-in is pulled and then build. After that, Jenkins deploy the build application to the test servers, and once everything is okay, the build application is then deployed to the production server. So that is the flow diagrams, right? It's available if you want to learn the basic Jenkins architecture. So as per the diagram, what happened? First, a developer commits their code to the source code repository, right, which is available in the Git. Meanwhile, the Jenkins server checks the repository at regular interval for the changes, because Jenkins is directly integrated to the Git repository. So it will with regular interval, in case you are giving it 15 minutes, 30 minutes or 1 hour, right? So it will try to check even every intervals. In case any commit this Jenkins is able to get, it will try to deploy it, right? It will try to deploy the build application on the test server. So once the commit occurs and it is fall in the periodic cycle, then Jenkins server detect the changes that have occurred in the source code repository. Jenkins will pull those changes and will start preparing a new build, right? And after that, in case the build is failed, then it will notify to the concerned developer so that they will try to fix it again and they will try to commit the code changes again, right? If the build is successful, Jenkins deploy the build to the test server. After testing, once it is available for the test to the testing team, so they will test, right? Jenkins generate the feedback and then notifies the developer about the build and test result. The test result is build is successful, test result is successful, like that. It will continue to check the source code repository for any changes made in the source code, and the whole process keeps on repeating. It will reiterate, right? So it will try to check in every 15 minutes to 30 minutes or 1 hour, so whatever duration you are entering here in the Jenkins. In case it is finding any check-ins, right, it will try to deploy a, right, trigger a build. Once the build is successful, it will go for the test. If it is, and it will also provide the feedback to the developer. In case the build is not successful, it will not notify to the tester. Instead of that, it will notify to the developer so that they can correct and fix the build again. So this is a periodic process or repeating process. That's why Jenkins works. So this is the Jenkins architectures, right? You can see master and slave architectures. So this is the master UI, right? And it will be can be connected to any of the slaves node. It can be Windows, it can be Mac, it can be Linux. So Jenkins follows master slave architecture to manage distributed build. In the above architecture, you can see slave and master communicate through TCP or IP protocols. Jenkins architecture has two components. One is Jenkins master or server. This is called master or server, and it is connecting to the nodes, right? So it is called node or called slave node or build server. So main server of Jenkins is the Jenkins master. It is a web dashboard which is nothing but powered from a wire file. By default, it's run on 8080 port, but you can change the port, right, as well. So with the help of dashboard, user can configure the job or project, but the build takes place in node or slave only. So by default, one node, which is termed as slave, is configured and running in Jenkins server. User can add more nodes using IP address, username and password with the help of SSH, ZenLP or WebStart methods. The server job or master job is to handle the following important aspects. One is master schedules build job. It dispatching build to the nodes or slab from the actual execution. It monitor the nodes or slabs, which is possibly taking them online and offline as and when required. It record and present the build result. A master or server instance of Jenkins can also execute build job directly. So this is all about the master or main server. So what are about slave node or build server? So Jenkins slave is used to execute the build job dispatched from the master. So as and when master is dispatching some job, it is going to the slave, right, or node level. Okay. So user can configure a project to always run on a particular slave machine or particular type of slave machine, or simple let the Jenkins to pick the next available slave or node. In case multiple slave is there, right, so Jenkins can pick the next available slot, next available node or slave. As we already know, Jenkins is developed using Java platform, so it is platform independent. Thus Jenkins master or server and slave or nodes can be configured in any of the operating system, which can be Linux, Windows or Mac. So we already know, right, Jenkins is a DevOps tool for the CI/CD, which is nothing but continuous integration and continuous delivery. So we will learn here what is CI all about, or what is continuous integration all about. So continuous integration is the most important part of DevOps that is used to integrate various DevOps stages. Jenkins is the most famous continuous integration tool. CI is a development practice in which the developers are required to commit changes to the source code in a shared repository several times a day or more frequently. Every commit made in the repository is then built. This allows the team to detect the problem early, right? As through CI, multiple developers can work parallelly, right? They can work with the CI repository. They can try to commit their codes multiple times a day or more frequently, right? So once they commit their code, immediately it will trigger a build. In case of build failure, it will notify to the developer. In case it is a success, it will notify to the testers, and testing team will do the testing, and also it will publish the back way that result to the developers, notify to the developer, right? That's why it's detect the problem early. Apart from this, depending on the continuous integration tool, there are several other functions like deploying the build application on the test server, providing the concerned teams with the build and test result, etc. Suppose consider as examples, real-time example, where the complete source code of the application was built and then deployed on the testing server for testing. It sounds like it's a perfect condition, right, or perfect way to develop software, but that particular problem, particular aspect have different problem. Suppose, what are the different problem? Developer team have to wait till the complete software is developed for the test result. So as part of CI, right, we can commit the changes as and when required multiple times in the day, but in case we are not using the CI, so we have to wait until everyone is completing their work and work is integrated. So developer team have to wait till the complete software is developed for the test result. There is a high prospect that test result might show some multiple bug which can be critical or kind of severe bug, right, or high severity bug. It was tough for developer to locate those bugs because they have to check the entire source code of the application. Instead of a particular module, they have to inspect all the code, whatever they all together written. It shows the software, it slows the software delivery process, right? It will take some, it could be time consuming process. Continuous feedback pertaining to things like architectural or coding issue, build failure, test status, and file release upload was missing, due to which the quality of software can go down. So we have to compromise with the quality as well of the software, right? The whole process was manuals, which increases the threat of frequent failure. In case we are doing something manuals, right, there is a high chances that something we can miss, or something the important aspect we can miss, but in case it is automated, there is a less chances of missing those aspects. So it is obvious from the above stated problem that not only the software delivery process becomes slow, but the quality of the software also went down. This lead to customer dissatisfaction, right? So to overcome these above mentioned problems, right, there was a need for a system to exist where developer can continuously trigger a build and test for every changes made into the source code. This is what continuous integration all about, or CI, right? Jenkins is the most mature continuous integration tool available in the market as part of free tool. So let us see how continuous integration with Jenkins overcame the above shortcoming, or whatever drawback was there. So here are the few elements. Here are few key elements which user need to perform the entire CI process. One is the VCS, or version control systems, which offers a reliable method to centralize and preserve changes made to the user project over time. Another one is virtual machines. Users should have a spare server or at least one virtual machine to build their systems. One is hosted CI tool solution. To avoid server or virtual machine, users also can go for hosted CI tool solution. This tool helps in the maintenance of the whole process and offer easier scalability. And other few tools also we can use. If users select a hosted variant, user will need to install any of the one of the CI tools, which can be Jenkins, TeamCity, Bamboo, or GitLab. So apart from Jenkins, these are the three important tools. TeamCity, Bamboo, GitLab is also used in the market for the continuous integration, continuous delivery as part of DevOps tool. What are the advantages and disadvantages available for CI? So this is the advantage I have tried to list it down here. CI, or continuous integration, help user to build better quality software. It process help to scale up headcount and deliver outcome of engineering team. CI allows software developer to work independently on features in parallel. Lots of developers can work independently, right? Everyone can commit their code and they can get the right whether their code is success or failure. It helps user to conduct repeatable testings, increase visibility, enabling greater communication. It also helps develop a potentially shippable product for fully automated build. It helps user to reduce risk by making deployment faster and more predictable. It provides immediate feedback when issue arrives. It avoids last minute confusion at release date and timing, because it's work on the real time basis, right? Definitely. So every day you can commit your code and you can get to know any kind of problem instead of in the last moment. So definitely it will not impact your release date and the timing. It allows user to maintain just a single source repository. If user can test the clone of the production CI environment as well, the complete process of build and testing and deployment should be visible to all the stakeholders. Testers can have a look, business analysts can have a look, from the client side they can have a look, management side they can have a look, right? So tester, developer, business analyst, and who is right directly associated with the project, everyone can have a look on the build, testing and deployment activities. These are the drawbacks available for CI. So initial setup time and training is required to get acquainted with, right, CI server. The development of suitable test procedure is essential. Well developed test should require many resources for the CI driver. It requires additional server and environment, right? Because sometimes it's also require additional server and environment to make it more reliable. So which is a drawback, can be a drawback. Waiting times may occur when multiple developers want to integrate their code around the same time, and everyone is right committing their code. Suppose in case it's same time, same second, same minute, right? 10 out of 10, right? 5 or 6 member trying to push their code, so they will go in the pipeline, right? And they will go in the queue. So once the queue is clear, so next developer code will go for the commits, right? Commits will happen in the actual time. So that's are the few drawbacks along with the advantages of CI. So what are the prerequisites for Jenkins installation? If you want to wants to install Jenkins, right? So this is the prerequisite you need to do. So you need to first install Java JDK. It need to be either version 8 or 11. Other version will not work for Jenkins. So first you need to check whether Java is installed or not. So you can go to the command prompt cmd and you can space Java hyphen version, Java space hyphen version. So you can get to know what are the versions available, right? So here 10 is available, okay, for me, but I have also installed 8 also, right? So if you go to the my computers, if you go to C drive, you to go to the program files, if you go to the Java, so you can see along with 10, right, JDK 10, I have also JDK 1.8, right? So 1.8 is or 1.11 is required for the Java version. So first in this prerequisite is the Java development kit or Java. So in case you do not install it, so you can go to the particular site and you can install based on your OS combination. It can be Mac or it can be Windows or it can be Linux. User need minimum 256 of RAM in the desktop or laptop to install the Jenkins, and some sort of memory space in the hard disk like 1 GB is required. So this is the basic three prerequisite. Also you can install Apache Tomcat, right, to work smoothly in the Jenkins, but it is not required right now. So definitely I will let you know when it is required. Okay. So Jenkins, if you go to the Jenkins website, right, this is the website, right, official website for Jenkins, jenkins.io download, right, and here you can see there are two kind of versions available. One is stable version, one is, right, regular version. Stable version is LTS, long term support, right? So Jenkins releases two type of version based on the organization need. One is long term support release and another one is weekly release. So long term support releases are available every 12 weeks, right? They are stable and widely tested. This release is intended for the end user, whereas weekly releases are made available every week for fixing bugs in the earlier version. Also, these releases are intended towards the plugin developer. In the previous slide mentioned, right, already more than 1000 plugins are available in the Jenkins. So as and when they are facing some challenges, they are trying to add more plugins. So this is primarily for the plugin developers who would require a few more plugins, right? So weekly versions will be, they can use it, but for the right for like tester or other developer, they should go for the long term support or LTS. So user need to use long term releases, though the process remains same for weekly release. So if you go to the official site, right, so this is kind of prerequisite for Jenkins installation. And what are the steps to install the Jenkins? So you need to go to the official site, right, jenkins.io, and downloads. So by default the latest release and the long term support release will be available for download, right? The fast release is also available for download. Okay, select the required platform from the LTS section. So this is the two section, one is the LTS, right, and one is the regular release weekly, which is the long term release for every 12 weeks, and one is the weekly release. So you can see in the downloading section, right, download Jenkins for LTS, there is a lot of options available. If you want to install for Dockers, Windows, right, okay, so you can get everything, Macs, you want to Linux, so you can get. So I will install it for Windows, so you need to click on the Windows. So immediately it will try to install the Jenkins.msi file. So it might take some time because of my internet slow, but once it is installed, downloaded completely, you need to go to the download folder, right? So here you can see a lot of things already downloaded here. So which is download successfully, you can open, right, a download Jenkins MSI file. Okay, so just double click, right, on any of the Jenkins files. So just I will double clicking here. So it will trying to prepare install, and then it will go in the welcomes page, setup page, right, welcome to Jenkins. Okay, Then we need to click on the next button. Then here we need to select the file property, file path. So if you want to change it, you can change it. Otherwise, by default, it will go in the program files, and here will be folder created called Jenkins. Then here two options will be available. One is run service as a local system. One is run service as local system or domain user. So if you want to know the account ID password, you can give it, and you can go with the test credential after entering it. In case it is successful, next button will be enabled. Otherwise, you can go for run service as local system. So while installing Jenkins, it is recommended to install and run Jenkins as an independent Windows service using local or domain user, as it is much safer than running Jenkins using local system, right, which will grant Jenkins full access to your system's machine or server. To run Jenkins service using a local or domain user, specify the domain user name and password which you want to run, which you want to use for running Jenkins. Click on the test credential to test your domain credential. Once it is successful, you can go for the next. Here you can see, so once you go to the right, please choose a port or port selection page, right, you can see by default 8080 port will be default, but you can change it to anything, right, but you need to remember it. One case you are changing, so port can be from 1 to 65535. So in case you are not changing, right, so specify the port on which Jenkins will be running. Test port button to validate whether the specified port is free on the user machine or not, right. In case multiples already installed Jenkins or multiples, right, user is using that particular shared machine, so maybe sometimes that port will not be available. So you need to check with the test port, help of test port, right. So consequently, if the port is free, it will show green tick mark as shown, right, and after that you need to click on the OK button. So let's click on the test port. You can see green tick mark is coming, and next button is enabled. So click on the next button. After that, installation process checks for Java on user machine and prefills the dialog with the Java home directory. So by default, you can see 10 is there, right. So I already installed also 8 also. So as it is higher version, it will show the default path. So once Java directory is selected, you need to click on the next button to continue. But here you can see some error message, right, in the select Java home directory, JDK or JRE. Please select the path of a Java development kit or JDK or Java runtime environment JRE. Only Java 1.8 or 11 are supported by Jenkins, but here by default the path is for JDK 10. Let's click on the next. You can see unable to find compatible Java version, right, for 10. So you need to change it for either 8 or 11. So only those two are size. So I will be changing for JDK 1.8. Now if I click on the OK and if I click on the next, so it will work, right. So after that we need to select other service that needs to be installed with Jenkins, and we need to click on the next button. If anything is required, we can select it, we can, right, go for the next page. After that, we need to click on the install button to start the installation of Jenkins. One installation is completed, click on the finish to complete the installation. So I will clicking on the install button. So it will take some time to install it. Once the installation is complete, we need to click on the finish to complete the installation. We are clicking on the finish. So Jenkins installed successfully. So immediately it will open, right, localhost 8080, that page, because your default port you are selected 8080. In case you are changing to anything, so it will be default port will be there. So you can see it is starting Jenkins server, right. Please wait while Jenkins is getting ready to work. Your browser will reload automatically when Jenkins is ready. So it will take some time. So you can see the page is coming. Because I already installed Jenkins, I have created the ID and password, right? So that is the reason it is coming. Welcome to Jenkins. Okay. Otherwise, whenever you are navigating to the localhost that page, right? So there will be options available to unlock the Jenkins page appears. So you need to check the initial administration password, right? So once you get it, you need to paste it, right, in the administrator password, that page, unlock Jenkins page, you need to click on the continue. After unlocking Jenkins, the customized Jenkins page appears, where you can install any number of useful plugin as part of your initial setup. That page will come, right? It will be having two options. One is install suggested plugin, and another one is select plugins to install. So install suggested plugin to install the recommended set of plugins which are based on the most common use case, whereas select plugin to install to choose which set of plugin to initially install. When user first access the plugin selection page, the suggested plugins are selected by default. So you need to select a option, either install suggested plugin or select plugins to install. So you can go with the install suggested plugin for the first time. The setup wizard show the progress of Jenkins being configured and user chosen a set of plugins being installed. This process might take few minutes, because in case there are 15-20 plugins will be installed by default which are really important, so it will take might 5 to 10 minutes. Finally, after customizing Jenkins with plugin, Jenkins asks, right, user to create the first administrative user. When create first administrative user page appears, we need to specify the details of the field, right? The username, user password, confirm password, email ID, right, like that. Okay, once it is done, you need to click on the save and finish. After that, it will be displaying the message, congratulations, you have successfully installed a Jenkins server, right? After that, you need options will be hit the start using Jenkins button. So here I already created user, name is Haradhan Automation, and password I am giving. So if I click on the sign in page, you can see the Jenkins is opening, right? So Jenkins is opening successfully here. If you go to the Jenkins folder, whatever is created, right, you need to go to the C drives, need to go to the program files, and there is a folder will be created Jenkins, right? And for the password, right, whatever will be the password for the first time, if you go to the jenkins.error files, so you can see some passwords will be available, right? You can see Jenkins initial setup is required and administrator user has been created and password generated. Please use the following password to proceed the installation. So in case you are getting that options, right, to enter the password, so you need to enter it. This is the initial admin password. Otherwise, it can be found in the particular folder, right? So once you entered, it will open the Jenkins. After that, you can create some user ID, right? And so once you create some user ID and once you add those user ID, it will be showing you to the navigation page where you can find lot of items, right? New items, people, build history, manage Jenkins, my view, right? New view, like that. And if you go to the manage Jenkins, right, whatever I was talking about, that some of the plugins will be there, right? If you click on the manage Jenkins, you can see this option called manage plugin. If you click on the manage plugin, so whatever options are already selected, right, already installed as part of select plugin, or sorry, install suggested plugin, so those will be available in the available folder, right? You can see this is already, those plugins already installed here. Okay, you can see. And in case still want to add something, sorry, available folder, you can install those, right, and can search, and whatever is already installed here, you can find it in the install tab. You can see this is already installed, right? And in case still you want to uninstall, you can, there's an option called uninstalling, right? And whatever you can't uninstall, there is a uninstall button is disabled. You can see this is the default plugin already installed during the initial setup. So there is no need to install it again. So in case if you want to install something for your project requirement, any plugin, first go to the install folder and let's have a look in case those are already available. Otherwise you can go to the available folder and you can search it and you can install them. So once you select it, right, you can see here there is two options available. If you want to install them from the available folder, right, one is install without restart, one is download now and install after restart, right. So if you click install without restart, so it will be installed immediately but it will not restart your Jenkins. But if you click on that option download now and install with after restart, so it will immediately install and it will restart the Jenkins, and obviously Jenkins will be restarted. Okay, so that's all for today's session. So in the next session I will go how to we can integrate Jenkins with Git or Maven project, and how we can create a new items, new project or new pipeline. Okay, thank you all for your times. Hope you enjoyed the session. Have a great day.